Tom Savini and Marty Schiff on the Fisch Bowl. Welcome.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you for taking the time to swim in the bowl with me.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
We're swimming.
I hope the temperature is just right.
It's perfect. We're from Pittsburgh.
Awesome. Well, Marty, I know. Tom, this is the first time you've been on my show. I just want to say that I'm a huge fan of both you guys.
Well, that's just swimmingly.
The
Awesome.
puns already. I love it. I
Who's
love
this
it.
guy?
This guy is Jerry Petrola.
Hi,
He
Jerry.
is helping out with me today as my press accomplice. He's going to be taking some photos and some stuff while we're doing this. And
Okay.
Just helping out. First, I want to ask you guys, what are some of your favorite films?
I think I can help you.
Favorite films we've done, or favorite films we like to watch?
You like to watch?
Last of the Mohicans, The Wolfman, True Lies, The Wind and the Lion, Gunga Din, Chinatown, The Warlord, Ben-Hur, Blade Runner, Barry Lyndon, French Lieutenant's Woman, Annie Hall.
And I would say I concur, but I would add The Godfather.
Oh,
Yeah, would add The Godfather, for sure. And then I would add Spartacus. And I would add,
I was at a convention. Tony Curtis was there.
Oh, wow.
I sent little James, my grandson, 9.5 years old, over to Tony Curtis. I said, just walk up and say, I am Spartacus. And he did. And Tony Curtis flipped. He loved it. He grabbed him, he hugged him, and they both together kept doing it to people as they walked by.
that's awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And then newer films, I would add Parasite, which I thought was wonderful, and 1917 was two more recent films that I think are on my list now of favorite films.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I just had a chance to watch The Color Out of Space, the new Lovecraft adaptation, and I really enjoyed that a lot.
Awesome.
Directed by Richard Stanley. And I just watched Guns Akimbo with Daniel Radcliffe,
Right.
and that impressed me a lot.
And, you know, when you ask me what films I like to watch, I go to movies twice a week. I mean, I still go to a movie theater and watch movies, but you know, I'll watch Drive, or I'll watch, you know, Thelma and Louise, or I'll watch some of these great movies throughout time. Just watch them. You know, I watched The Graduate recently and just really saw something new, saw things new that, you know, I hadn't seen in 40 years. You know, so,
Right.
So one thing, as a filmmaker, I'm also a student of film, and I also teach film. But so I don't know. That's a hard question. Some of their, you know, favorite films. Is really.
Sure.
You gotta
It's
pick a
a-
genre first.
Yeah.
What's
Right.
your favorite Western? What's your favorite comedy?
Yeah.
What's your favorite love story?
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about Creepshow.
Yes.
First, I just have to say that I have George's desk.
Me too.
Is it from Latent Image?
It's from Christine's house.
Oh, the
house.
Yeah.
I went to school for screenwriting, and I've since written a zombie comedy on there that's now published on Amazon.
Awesome.
And I actually wrote 2 roles for you.
2 roles for me.
Yes, it's supposed to be a.
Wait. You wrote 2 roles for Tom, but no roles for Marty?
I have roles. Actually, it's supposed to spoof George's
You're getting
movies.
the cinnamon rolls.
Yeah. I've become craft services on this one. I just get the cinnamon rolls.
He
That's
was
good.
talking about my 2 roles. Now shut the fuck up.
Oh, go ahead, Sam. Indulge Tom.
I wrote a role.
Look how ready he got.
I'm having a blast here. I wrote a role for Tom to play to revise your zombie from Land of the Dead.
Which is revised from Dawn of the Dead.
Exactly. And I also wrote a role for you to play a second character that will be introduced in the second episode. It's supposed to be a Zomcom TV series, and cartoon series.
Oh.
And it would introduce you as a hitman that's trying to kill this zombie.
Hitman. Have you seen Machete?
Yes,
1-800-HITMAN?
exactly.
You know, if you dial that, it's a gay porno.
Oh,
Thing.
And it's actually Tom.
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh, sorry.
I don't think they realized when they said 1-800-HITMAN that people would actually call that. It's a gay porno.
Oh,
those
wow.
Phone-in things. And,
wow.
well, I guess some guy talks to you.
Don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I guess that's edging all my Fishbowl listeners to contact that number and find out
No, people
for
are dialing
themselves.
them.
You've increased their business.
Well, I think we should get paid for advertising.
Right,
So-
right.
But yeah,
Oh, so I'm going to be a hitman. All right. Well, that makes sense.
Named Antonio Savini.
That's my brother,
that was your brother,
Anthony.
Anthony, right?
And the protagonist zombie is a spoof on Boris Karloff.
Oh, so I'm killing Boris Karloff.
Yes.
Well, his name should be William Henry Pratt then. You know that's Karloff's name, right?
Right, right,
He's running, yeah.
right.
He could do a pratfall.
Yes, he could.
When he dies, he could do a pratfall.
I'm just getting the cinnamon rolls.
Awesome. I love how this interview is going.
Isn't it great? Very mature.
We should go on the road with this.
We should work together.
Sometime, yeah, again. You know, we've worked together like 5 times.
Right, right. That's a good segue. Let's hear about some of the Savini and Schiff experiences.
Well, we met on the set of Dawn of the Dead.
Tell them how we met.
Yes, on the infamous truck hits the zombie stunt, and I was actually his stuntman. So Tom was the zombie getting hit, and then John Hall and I were the 2 zombies that he lands on. So he did, and there was no stunt mats or anything like that on the ground. So we were responsible for keeping him from breaking his back, and that was the day we met. Actually, that was how we met. And then a couple days later, George brought me back in to do another stunt with Tasso and the sledgehammer, and that was the night the biker gang was being brought in, and he needed a couple more actors to fill it out, and so I became a biker that night, and Tom actually was taking my makeup off from the stunt, and so we did a lot of the fight choreography together. We did a lot of, I spotted him a lot of the stunts. Unfortunately, I wasn't there when you broke your heels. I wasn't there for that. But
Why? We'll see.
yeah,
When I need you, where the hell are you?
I was getting some cinnamon rolls. That's what I was doing. But
That's why you're getting cinnamon rolls here.
but that was how we met. That was exactly how we met. Was working on that, and then we did Night Riders together a few years later.
We were the Garbage Men in Creep Show.
We were the Garbage Men in Creep Show.
My number one favorite George Romero movie right there.
Was Creep Show.
Yes.
We had a lot of fun on Creep Show.
And then we did this miserable piece of shit called Children of the Living Dead.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
I'm sorry. Personally, I would like
Let's
to
take this
apologize.
opportunity
To apologize. Yes, both of us.
To the
And
world.
did you pay money for it, Sam?
I did actually. I rented it from
how much?
Blockbuster.
Oh, really? So we owe you a couple bucks. No problem. So, we don't. My students have to refer to that film as the movie that shall not be named. That piece of garbage. And then Tom directed a piece that I produced called House Call, which is still to this day one of my favorite projects I've ever done. And then we did a Traco window commercial where I was a pig, and Tom did my makeup for that.
We're
What
well
else?
past 5 now.
Yeah, we've done 7, I think. Something
Okay.
like that. But it's not like anybody ever said Tom Savini and Marty Schiff are going to be the Robert Redford and Paul Newman of horror films. We just kind of ended up working together over and over and over again. But anyways, Tom, I sort of just dominated that question.
Oh, I'm enjoying it.
Oh, okay, great. Anything you'd like to add?
No, I think you covered it.
Pretty much. But, we've been through a lot together as friends, too. Births and weddings and family passing away. And,
I'll
just...
be in a traffic jam and I'll call Marty. Hey, Marty, I'm in a traffic jam. Make me laugh.
So, yeah. And we have like a code that I'll share now. When we really need to speak with each other, we'll say, you know, "Hey, Tom, it's Marty. I'm lying in a ditch somewhere. I need you now." And then he'll call me right back. If I don't say that, I could wait a couple days. But, yes.
Okay. Awesome. I'm very interested in hearing about what was some of your experiences with George.
Oh man, so many.
Where do you start? with
Yeah,
that?
where do you start? You know, I've worked with a lot of directors, both in film and television and theater, and George was probably he trusted me most to do the right thing as an actor, and he was great that way. He would give you some minimal direction and let you go and try it, and then if he had to reel you in or get you, you know, he was great that way. He really trusted his actors to be able to act, and you don't find that a lot of times. A lot of times you get directors that don't know how to talk to actors, first of all, and they only know how to talk to camera people. Or you'll get directors that want you to do it a specific way, and they give you result-oriented directing. And but George was very, very
What do you call it when they tell you how to say it wrong?
result-oriented. You know, line readings.
No. Line reading.
Yeah.
He never did that.
Never gave you a line reading.
He came to my high school. I was a sophomore in high school. He came there looking for a kid, an actor, for a movie he was playing in called Wine of the Fawn. It never got made, but he chose me out of the high school. We did a screen test. It never got made. So years later, he was doing Night of the Living Dead. So I went down to his office with my portfolio. Said, yeah, we can use you on this gig. He liked what he saw. But I was in Vietnam because I had enlisted in the Army. By the time he shot the movie, I was in Vietnam. So I came back, and then I was in college, and I heard he was doing a vampire movie called Martin. And I went down. I wanted to be the vampire. It was already cast, but I wound up doing the effects, doing the stunts, and playing a part. And of course, that led to Dawn of the Dead, and then that led to Friday the 13th. And I owe my whole career to George, because if it wasn't Dawn of the Dead, there wouldn't have been anything else, for me.
Yeah, same for me. Yeah, I think so. I mean, and he was, in those days, he sort of, in very much like Bergman, liked to use the same actors over and over and over again. I mean, if you look at the cast of Dawn of the Dead, and then you look at the cast of Knight Riders, very similar. I mean, almost, all of us.
Why didn't our careers follow the path of Ed Harris, who George used, Ted Danson, who George used? We didn't become, major stars.
Well, you did okay. I don't think you have
did
anything
all
to
right.
complain. And I did okay. I can't complain. But,
But we're not on Broadway in To Kill a Mockingbird right now.
that's true, like Ed Harris. But that was the other thing, too. George had an eye for new talent. Ed Harris hadn't really done a principal role. He had done some...
One movie.
he did The Borderline or
Charles
Border
Bronson.
with somebody, Charles Bronson, right. Ed, he really saw Ed. I think he saw him in a play. And he also, that was the other thing about George. He knew theater and he knew actors. He was an actor's director. I was doing a play, John Amplis and I were doing a play at Point Park called Philemon. It was actually the last play ever done for the public in the theater upstairs at the Pittsburgh Playhouse. George came to see that play, and that's where he cast John Amplis as Martin, was from seeing that play.
What was the name? I know the Kraft Avenue.
Hamlet Street,
Hamlet Street.
and then the theater upstairs. He went to theater. He liked working with actors who were theatrically trained. Scotty Reiniger was theatrically trained.
Scotty have
Galen.
an acting school?
I had an acting school,
I thought that.
and maybe Scotty did too. But
I thought he was an acting teacher at least.
yeah, he was. And George liked that. He liked working with actors who had theatrical backgrounds. And George was an actor himself, a great actor. I think the role of the priest in Martin
It's
is
fantastic.
brilliant, absolutely
It's
brilliant.
fantastic.
And he shows up in Dawn of the Dead. He shows up in, I don't think he showed up in Knight Riders. I don't remember him doing a cameo in Knight Riders, unless I missed it. But,
Yeah.
he did cameos a lot in his earlier films. And so he liked being an actor as well, and he was good at it. He was really a great actor. So, a long answer to a short question. Working with George, I loved working with him. And the other thing was he was a great editor. So he didn't just do take after take after take after take just because he was insecure about whether he got it or not. He knew when he got it. And he edited the film. His coverage was very tight, very minimal, and because he edited the film as he went along in his head, and he was brilliant at that. Absolutely brilliant.
That's his master. That's his talent as an editor.
Yeah.
He's a master editor.
Without a doubt.
Which makes you a good director, because when you're a director, you're creating the pieces to the puzzle that you're putting together.
Right. And so he had an appreciation of all of it, and he was a great film historian. He really was.
Awesome. I think my two favorite Living Dead movies. I mean, I love the first one, Night of the Living Dead, but the first one that I was actually able to, alive, to go see in theaters was Land of the Dead.
Oh.
And I think that one holds like a special place in my heart, because it was the first Living Dead movie I got to see in theaters. And then sure enough, when your cameo came on,
I'm the only actor that repeats in a Romero Dead film. I was in Dawn.
Right.
That's the character I was in Dawn.
Right.
Repeated in Land.
That I actually named your character in my zombie script Tom Machete.
That's so he's Italian.
It is Italian, yes. Yes.
Well, I think the reason he did that is because I was supposed to play the driver of the vehicle, the dead vehicle.
Okay.
The woman played it,
Right.
But I had done the remake of Dawn of the Dead before that, and George's partner Peter Grunwald called me aside. And we can't. Universal or whatever studio was involved. I think he was just using the studio. He said they don't want you to be in it because you were in that remake of Dawn of the Dead, which I think is bullshit.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So he gave me that role.
I remember being in the theater. It was a theater out in North Versailles. I think it's a Phoenix Cinema now, but I think back then it was a Distenta.
It was a Distenta.
Yeah, and I remember leaning over to my dad and saying to my dad, "That's Tom Savini," And
But what wasn't the end of that movie? I mean, you're supposed to kill zombies,
right,
not lead them to the promised land.
right.
And wasn't that the ending of that movie? They were leading the zombies.
Well,
to
I don't think necessarily they were leading them, but it ended kind of with them going on their own.
The zombies.
Yeah, the zombies going on their own kind of path, because it hinted at it in Day of the Dead, with the zombies gaining somewhat of
they keep getting smarter in each
right,
film.
right. And in Land of the Dead, Eugene Clark's zombie Big Daddy was the one who kind of became like the most conscious in their leader, and it kind of ended after they massacred like the last city that was supposed to be Pittsburgh. The what is it, the death dealers, I think, whatever the crew was that had that rig. They saved the remaining, people of the city, and then the remaining people were like the good ones that took over the city versus
once they got rid of Dennis Hopper.
Right, and then the leader of that rig and his crew basically said, "We're gonna try and find if there's like this safe zone, I think in Cleveland or something." And they saw like the zombies and Eugene Clark's zombie Big Daddy, kind of just like.
Does it tie into Diary of the Dead?
I
was amazed in Diary of the Dead that George knew so much about social media. Because all of George's films, there's a documentary called American Nightmare that talks about what was going on in the world when these movies were made. And it uses Night of the Living Dead as an example. And George is always putting in his films some subtext of what's going on.
Right.
And he did it really in Diary of the Dead as well, with social media and stuff, and I was amazed that he knew anything about it because he doesn't have a cell phone. He never did, but he carried it off in Diary of the Dead. I haven't seen Survival of the Dead.
I've seen that one, and it kind of lacked compared to the other ones. It was still
Good effects in it.
there were effects in it, but I felt like with that one, compared to Diary of the Dead, like his budget just got smaller and smaller. I mean,
But
because
wasn't it like the Hatfield and the McCoys?
Yeah.
The feud between this Irish gang or something. I mean, I saw a bit of it once.
I've never seen it.
yeah, there was a lot. That was like the backdrop for it essentially, but it kind of ended with like the zombies. Kind of like moving on, teaching them to move on to like a different food source, which was like
vegetarian,
the
like
vegans.
animals.
Oh,
It was
animals.
vegan.
You know,
Animals.
It was voted the worst film at the Cannes Film Festival.
I don't want to
Disparage it.
but
I still have to see it.
it's worth watching to complete
Yeah.
his
cycle.
cycle. But personally, I think it wasn't George. I think it was the studio not giving him the budget that he really needed to
Right.
do like a proper zombie movie. Because if you look at the budget, I mean, while Diary of the Dead has a lot of great things about it, like you said, was the social commentary aspect. The budget compared to like Land of the Dead is extremely lower. Compared to what that film was, and
What
it
was
even
the budget?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but knowing like everything that went into Land of the Dead versus Diary of the Dead, Land of the Dead was definitely like a blockbuster type.
As far as the budget goes.
Right.
Well, Mark Canton was there. Sony Pictures.
Right.
And plus 5 other guys looking over George's shoulder. And,
Right.
he never works that way.
I still enjoyed it. I mean, it's like I sat through it with no issues. I love all his movies. I mean, he out of like Craven, Carpenter, George was just always my favorite because like you said, he had those political kind of subtext like in his films, and I thought it wasn't like shoved in your face, but at the same time you could tell that there was something else going on with the films, and I think that's kind of hard to find.
Well, that's what,
these days.
I think that's what really sets George apart. There's always some sort of social commentary bubbling into the surface of his script, and I think that's what makes him great. If you look at Night of the Living Dead and you look at the social commentary about paranoia and racism and things
Right.
like that, and then you look at Dawn of the Dead, the commercialism, the subtext of the zombies went to the mall instead of church or home.
Right,
They go
right.
someplace that's important to them.
Right.
They were all ending up at the mall. And then Day of the Dead, which was completely about isolation, and there's always even Knight Riders had a lot of
Right.
Knight Riders,
undertones.
according to his friends, is George's biography. Ed Harris was George.
Yeah.
Fighter yields. I'm fighting the dragon. Everyone who knows George better than we do, Heinzman and Steiner, said that movie is George's biography.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I have to split like my two number ones of George between Creepshow and Knight Riders.
Oh yeah.
For a long time, Knight Riders was my favorite movie.
I don't know if you've watched it again recently, but it really holds up. And George addressed some themes in 1980. We made that movie in the summer of 1980, and he addressed themes on screen that nobody was touching back then: homosexuality, fighting the dragon, fighting the corporate, America, and all these things. George had the guts to go ahead and sort of put it out there. And in my personal opinion, I mean, I have nothing to base this on other than my own feelings, is that I think the film didn't do as well at the box office because it had those uncomfortable messages in them that audiences didn't want to see. They probably just wanted to see a movie with us beating each other up on motorcycles.
Yeah, you could re-edit that, cut a lot out of it,
Yeah.
and make it an hour and a half. On
Yeah.
HBO, it had an intermission. It was so long.
Mm-hmm.
But then it would take away from George's message, and it would take away the art that he was putting on the screen.
Right.
So, yeah. And when you're in the middle of it and you're making that movie,
That was the best summer we ever had.
it was we had so much fun making Night Riders. It was such a good time.
Riding motorcycles, fencing.
Yeah, well, he and I strapped pillows to our butts one day and roller skated through the Ramada. We were on roller skates with swords, and we were fencing
Didn't we
on
skate
roller.
through a pet
Yeah,
show?
there was a pet show going on in the hotel
We skated
in their
right through
convention area. We skated through it
Fencing on
with
motorcycles.
pillows strapped to our butts.
In case
There's some people, I guarantee you, there's people that were at that dog show that day that still talk about that those two crazy people roller skated through this dog show sword fighting. We bought one of the first consoles. We bought Atari 2600s, and we
Tennis
we hooked them up in our rooms. We gave one to Tasso for his birthday, and so the three of us had them.
That was a huge
Yeah,
deal.
1980 we had
were
like
constantly
consoles,
on
Atari
that
consoles,
console.
and we were playing. We played Pong,
Yeah. There was a Castle Demon.
Castle Demon,
With the
and
dragon,
Space Invaders. Those were the three games we played. Yeah, and then we came up with things like On Location Heirs Disease, because we had been there, because it got rained out a lot. So we were going over on time. So we created On Location Heirs Disease, and then I created the Ramada Regatta, where we all made little boats, model boats, and floated them in the pool.
And they would go out and change the marquee of the hotel. Like if the marquee said, today, special, Bavarian buffet, they changed it to
Barbarian Buffet, Dead Things, all you can eat, $8.95. So that was Tasso and John Hostetter, who played Friar Tuck in the
or
movie.
you will enjoy our dirty undies.
Yeah, it would say, you'd love our Sunday brunch. We made it too. You'll love our dirty undies.
And then Ed Harris saw that, and he went out and changed it, and that's when the police came.
Well, we used to do it smart. We would take a Polaroid picture of. I'll send you a video, Sam, that you can look at, and it's in there. But we would take a Polaroid of the marquee, of what it said. We would go back to John's room, John Hostetter's room, and figure out what we could make it say. And then Tasso and I would jump up on the platform, change it real quick, and then get off. So we got it done in like 2 minutes. Well, Ed Harris and Donald Rubenstein didn't know that's what we did. They thought we just stood up there and tried to figure it out. So they went up on the platform and stood there for 10 minutes trying to figure out what to do, and that's when the police showed up and they got busted for it. And Rolling Stone magazine did a story on us. They gave the stuntmen credit for that. And it was Tasso and John Hossetter and me, and they gave the stunt guys credit for it. But yeah,
Let it be known.
Let it be known publicly. Here on the Fishbowl.
I can see why the stunt guys would get credit, because the stunt guys would take us into the hotel bar, and I don't
Foods and
drink.
drinks.
And they're pumping Cuba Libras.
Yeah.
What is that?
Kamikazes and Cuba Libras are rum and
And
grapefruit juice or something. Yeah, you get
stunt
wasted
guys
with the
would
stunt
do
guys.
that to us.
So, where were we? We were babbling about
Night Riders.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, we just had a really good time. And I'll send you that video when I get back to my table. It's got a bunch of photos from Night Riders, but it's got all the marquees.
Okay.
We took Polaroids of them.
Awesome.
And the stunt guys would do incredible things on the diving board at the hotel pool. Were teaching us, twists and flips and stuff like that. But one of our guys, Nicky Tallow, he was a
Dolly grip.
dolly grip, yeah. We would put him in a garbage bag on the diving board, and he was called the Flying Zucchini Brother. We would push him in the pool, and he would escape from the garbage bag at the bottom of the pool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The Flying Zucchini. But he originated that on the Mr. Rogers show with Michael Keaton. He
Okay.
was Michael Douglas back then.
Right.
He was a zucchini.
He was one of the Flying Zucchini Brothers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, in a way, Mr. Rogers and George Romero were
Have the-
responsible for like the film community in
6
Pittsburgh.
degrees of
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers.
Right.
Awesome. Well, I have one more question for you guys.
Okay.
We got the favorite movies question out of the way. My last one is, do you guys have any upcoming projects to promote?
Well, I just happen to have a list.
Should I go first?
Of
Your
my
phone's
projects.
right there.
It is?
It's your phone.
No, it isn't.
It's not your phone?
It's not. It's my phone, but it's not ringing.
Oh, no. He said the list is probably on your phone.
Oh no, I carry it around with me.
Oh, I see.
All right.
I'll go first.
Okay, you go.
Let's see. The Dust Till Dawn TV series.
All right.
Which is on. What's it on? Is it on Shudder?
Netflix. Is
Netflix.
Netflix?
It's Netflix.
It is Netflix.
Netflix. Okay. Lock and Key is on Netflix. I'm
Yes.
in that. Nosferatu, that's on Shudder. I'm in the second season of that. Creepshow TV, I directed the last episode of the series. Smoke and Mirrors, which is documentary on me, is on Shudder.
Which I'm in.
And there's
For
2 books
4 seconds.
on my table. The Savini Coffee Table Picture book, The Night of the Living Dead book. And my assistant do the WWE wrestling masks for Kalisto, for Big Eric the Viking, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. We created that. And Corey Taylor's mask for Slipknot.
Yes.
There you go.
There you have it.
All right.
And I'm working on getting a film called Beaten Path produced, working with which Tom has a role
I just
in.
bought
Working with
interview a vampire leather
Mike
jacket
Gassaway, who was the award-winning director from Jimmy Neutron. And then I have. I'm doing an interview here.
I'm talking behind your back.
Stop it!
Get him a cinnamon roll.
It's Dave Burien. No.
But if you do background material for a DVD at George Romero's house for Martin or any of those, the FedEx guy knocks on, rings the doorbell, the dog's barking, the phone's ringing, they're answering it. It's like you're sitting there with them watching the movie.
It's hilarious. So working on that, Beaten Path, I would be producing that with Mike Gassaway. I went back to school. Yes, you are.
I have a role in that?
You do. I went back to school to get my master's degree in writing at Point Park College, Point Park University now, and wrote a couple of projects that I'm pitching right now, both for TV, and a couple of other projects that I have in play. And I'm teaching. I'm a full-time professor at the University of Cincinnati in their cinema department over there. So, got a lot going on. I'm busier now than I've ever been, I think, in my life, but having a really good time, having a lot of fun. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Marty, Tom, thank you so much for taking the time to swim in the bowl with me. Again, I hope the temperature was just right.
It was great. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Awesome.